Time now for News Extra, brought to you by First State Bank, Scottsbluff and Gering. And with our program today, here's Kevin Mooney.
And thank you, Dennis. Good morning, everyone. Billy Estes is here from the Midwest Theater, and we're going to talk about several things. And probably number one on the list is the fact that the second part of the Performing Arts Series coming up this week on Thursday night, it's the Paragon Ragtime Orchestra performing this Thursday, 7:30 p.m. at the Midwest Theater. And you say, never heard of these guys.
Never heard of them? Why not?
You know, so tell us who these guys are. So
they're from Pennsylvania. So Rick Benjamin is a Juilliard graduate, and one of his projects was, or missions in life is to, preserve the America's original music, the sound of ragtime, and primarily silent film scores. And so this is his baby. He's been touring the Paragon Ragtime Orchestra for 29 years now, and has the world record of the most conducted silent film scores on stage with a live orchestra and film combined. Something to the tune of 650 performances, which I think is kind of a little random fact. They are an absolute pleasure to watch. I've seen them perform a couple of years ago. And what I'll say, you think about silent movie, is that boring, right? Like, I like silent movies to watch at home, but I've never had seen one with an orchestra until I saw this group. And I will say that you can come because you like to hear great music. They're very talented musicians. So just from, like if you just want to go to a great concert, ragtime, old Broadway style music, like come to the concert. If you want to see them perform with a film that's playing at the same time and see how they have to time everything and all of that interaction that happens, come to the event. If you like silent movies and have never had the chance to see one with a silent orchestra or with an orchestra, come to the event. There's so many things about it that I love, and one of them really is about the fact that the event kind of touches place on both art forms the theater works in, both from a performing arts perspective and concert and film presentation. To be able to combine them together is a great thing to have happen. And it's the first silent movie that's been shown at the Midwest that I can find any record of. Of course, there was some shown at the Egyptian in the early years, in the late 20s, possibly, right before talkies really took off, but definitely not something that's happened at the Midwest in the last 70 years. So it's a historic night for us as well. And so come down and watch. Rick is a wonderful performer, he has great interaction with his audience, and I think it's a true treat for us to have as a community.
All right, and you'll be able to enjoy films by Buster Keaton, Harold Lloyd,
yes,
Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, the silent film era comedic masters. Come and see these great little films that they're going to put together as a program. And a side note, Harold Lloyd is a Nebraska native. I believe he was born south of Hastings, so to be able to have his work in Nebraska with an orchestra is another great thing as well.
All right. How many people in this orchestra? It looks like through this picture there must be 7 of them, something like that?
It's 13.
13
is the makeup of what is considered a traditional film orchestra.
Back, right.
That's a full orchestra would have been performing with a silent film, and they have all kinds of great sound effects and a glockenspiel, and you never know what you might hear out of them. I don't actually know quite what it's going to even be like. So the NEA supports this program too. That's another important thing for us to mention. Paragon Ragtime Orchestra submitted to the National Endowment for the Arts to bring this type of performance to small historic communities, especially in historic theaters. So we appreciate that support of the National Endowment for the Arts on this project.
Wow, fantastic. So it should be a good time, 7:30 p.m. this Thursday night. And, of course, if you've bought tickets to the Performing Arts Series, this is one of those
shows. Yep.
One of those shows. So we should have a good crowd just because of the season ticket.
Yeah, we're at a little over about 500 seats for the evening.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, nice
that's
little
great.
house.
It should be a really fun time, and a lot of people should be very interested in this, and I'm looking forward to it on Thursday night. All right, we'll talk about other things after this break.
Hey, Nebraska, Dave Ramsey here. When I get asked where you should keep your money, for me it's a no-brainer. Locally owned community banks like First State Bank in Scottsbluff and Gering. They offer all the bells and whistles of the big banks, but with free checking that includes free e-statements, free online banking, and no-charge First mobile banking. Free ATM transactions nationwide and no monthly maintenance fees. First State Bank, Scottsbluff and Gering. Member FDIC.
Billy Estes back with us on News Extra. We talked about the Paragon Ragtime Orchestra coming in this coming Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. The show called The Clown Princes, a mixture of orchestra and silent film. I think we'll all love it. It's 7:30 this Thursday night. All right, you got some movies coming in this weekend. This movie has really got good reviews. The Intern with Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway. That's coming in this weekend.
Yep, Friday, Saturday, 7:30, 1:30 on Sunday. So that's coming right up. It's amazing to go from silent film to 2015 releases all in a matter of 24 hours. We are as Americans, as a society, we're the masters of making movies. So come see it all.
Yeah. All right. The Intern this weekend. You mentioned you have a kind of a sports movie called Woodlawn.
Yeah, the weekend of November 20th, we have Woodlawn. It's kind of a sports film, or it is a sports film, not kind of. It's based on a football player. A spiritual message to it, similar to Friday Night Lights that came out a few years ago with Sandra Bullock. And then also worth mentioning, Sunday the 15th, the Star Herald in the Midwest is bringing in 101st Army Dixieland Band. It's at 3 o'clock. It's a free show. Those tickets are available through the Star Herald. And then coming up in December, we have lots of great Christmas and holiday programming. With the third installment of our Performing Arts series, we have the Grammy Award-winning Sweato Gospel Choir stopping by on December 10th with a holiday concert. They were here a few years ago, I think 3.5 years ago thereabouts, and put on a wonderful show, and we're excited to have them back to do a holiday shows that will be a mix of American and African traditional holiday music. So another great show coming up on the lineup.
All right, that's December 10th at 7:30 p.m. All right, out of time, bud.
Okay. Tickets, MidwestTheater.com and 632-4311.
Good job.
We didn't put that in there.
Good job.